got a very special guest joining us today, Mr. John Cayen from the Working Class. Cayen, do you prefer I pronounce it Cayen, French?
Well, I am French. My family is French.
Yeah.
So either way, you know, I'll adapt to who I'm with, you know.
So when people say Cayen...
Cayen, I'm French that day.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Right on. So once again this week we got Jason Boissonneau, co-host, and myself, Corey McGee, physical specimen.
How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
Yeah. Everybody having a good week this week?
Yeah.
It's getting there, yeah.
Yeah, it's
been a
getting
good
there.
week.
Pretty fun. Yeah. It's going to be even better weekend, I should say.
Yeah, long weekend.
Labor
ahead.
Day. Yeah, we're going to have some fun.
So wait a sec. Labor Day. You're not supposed to wear white after Labor Day?
I think that's right, because white's like the summer color, and then you're ushering in the new season,
But
right? It's
isn't
the final
every day
weekend of
technically
summer.
after Labor Day?
Every
That's a
day
good point.
after?
Yeah. When are you before? When are you after? It's technically...
I think it's summer. Nobody wears white pants in the winter.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Well, you do see those, like, you see people in white snowsuits and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But nobody's busting out white pants, I guess.
Nah. White snowsuits.
Well, so
Army
wait.
guys, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, well, we all know that girl who's wearing nothing but a full-on white snowsuit
Oh, yeah.
and, like, DC fur boots and stuff like that. We live in Timmins, come
We've
on.
been to Camp Scotia.
We know what's up.
Yes.
People are wearing white
Yes.
after Labor Day.
So, Johnny, how's it going?
Good, keeping busy, lots on the plate, just trying to get by every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell it. Well, I see that you guys posted a new show here that's coming up in December. Massive one.
Yeah, we're really stoked on that. We've been we had that under our sleeves for the past couple of weeks, so we're looking forward to announce it. Glad it finally came out. Everybody is super stoked on it, just based on like the online response and just all the messages. Protests here have always been a favorite amongst people here in Timmins. They've taken the time in the past to come here, played numerous killer shows that people are still talking about. So the fact that they are coming back, and along with them, a Willem Scream is just gonna.
Crazy.
It's going to be
I'm so
surreal
stoked for that.
especially seeing a small place like the Working Class. You know what I mean? We have a small capacity. Bands of that nature don't typically play that kind of forum, so it's going to be a treat to those who get
Actually-
in. So get your tickets now.
John, if you want, before you get into too much, how about you tell us a bit about yourself and why you're here, or a bit about your business?
Oh yeah. I don't know. Well,
Good point. Great podcasting, Jay.
Yeah, Jesus.
well,
Someone's got
He's the
to
one
keep this
keeping
on
us
track.
on track.
I don't even know like where to start. You know, I came here in 1982 from and you know, I just
And never left.
Out of your mother's womb.
I just been thrown into a mess of situations and tried to get out alive. But no, I don't know. I've been doing concerts here in the city in one place or another, whether it be like a friend's parents' basement, community center, bar, wherever. And that's kind of, I guess, I don't want to say my claim to fame, but that's mostly how people know me in the community and stuff like that. And I got to the point that, you know, I played in some local bands as well. Our shows were kind of getting popular. A lot of people were coming out to them. And then, boom, finally we got a chance to own our own venue. So that's kind of the point that we are at right now. And we're in the process of just bringing anything that we think might stick to the wall at the Working Class, you know. We like punk rock and hardcore and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what we
But
we
you guys
bring.
have done a good job of catering to different musical tastes.
Yeah, we
Not
definitely.
just really sticking in that, I guess, getting pigeonholed into the punk rock hardcore scene.
Yeah, we get pigeonholed a lot, which is whatever. You know, like I said, it's our area of interest. I mean, look at us. But
that's sort of unfair.
But we do try to kind of broaden our horizons. We've had like, you know, hip hop shows, folk shows. You know, and despite like you know, our core interests, we are just music fans across the board. So we try to bring whatever we think people are gonna be into. So yeah, that's kind of like that's what I do. You know, I just bring bands to town, just work with artists, just try to present them with a forum to you know, let it all out at. And like on top of all that, like I've just toured with a bunch of bands, and I've always kind of been rooted into music one way or another. So
you've got some personal relationships that have kind of facilitated this. It's when somebody says they've fallen into a job, a lot of that could be exemplified by your situation.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, you know, once you kind of get immersed in anything, opportunities present themselves. You know, in my case, it's music, and just from doing shows, that kind of opened up the doors to like going on tour with other bands. You know, hence opening a bar and stuff of that nature. So it's provided a lot of opportunities. Some good and some bad, but
Some bad opportunities. What kind of bad opportunities? I mean, it's juicy stuff. You don't need to get into anything too specific.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
mean,
I don't know. It might be some TMZ kind of topics.
oh, really? My goodness. Okay.
No, it's but no, it's like, there's it's a learning curve, right? Like just being in the music industry, even just at the level that we are at, by no means it's like, trying to sound like, yo, we're in the music industry, we're doing big things, because it's not always big things. But some opportunities are good, some opportunities are bad.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I think just recently, over the past year, there's been a huge, or probably a little bit more than over the year, there's been the big debate online, especially on social media, seeing people talking about local events and live music, especially. And if you want to shed some light a little bit more on that process that you're talking about, like opportunities coming up and how this all gets facilitated, because I think there's a lot of, I want to say, not ignorance, but a misunderstanding out there, and maybe even some misinformation for people who don't necessarily understand the process that goes into bringing live entertainment to town. And even just that term of saying we're bringing live entertainment to town, it's very much a job, right? It's very much a business opportunity and something that you're facilitating. So if you can shed some light a little bit on that and why you think, anyways, in your head, it hasn't necessarily filtered through to the general public.
Well, everybody's an expert on everything online, right? So it's not going to take too much to kind of.
I subscribe to a lot of forums.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Well, I'm on the Timmins page, so like you can see a lot of stuff that's taking place. But it doesn't take too much to kind of get people up in arms about anything. And the first and foremost is something we need to kind of establish is like it's an industry. You know what I mean? Just like anything else, whether it be like mining, some type of clerical industry, whatever. People are working within it, right? So the fact that people are, actually taking the initiative to make an event happen is like the first thing that's cool, So, like you said, there's a lot of events that are sprouting up around town, a lot of festivals, which is fantastic. You know what I mean? Because people are taking things into their own hands. You can't expect a city to do stuff like that.
No, of course.
Because like the city of, sure, the city does get involved in certain things like in other markets and that, but this is like purchasing talent and like bringing bands to town. That's not the city's responsibility. That's like the independent, that's a private sector, places like House of Blues, Live Nations, and other bigger markets take care of stuff like that, not the city of Toronto.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean? But people should just be appreciative, like we went from not getting very much, and now like there's all types of stuff that's happening, some successful, some not, and like obviously you're not going to start off with like the biggest band and on the Billboard charts or stuff, and I don't know, like the Timmins Festival Event Committee, they're doing some really cool stuff with what they did with Rock on the River.
Absolutely.
People need to take note about that. For a first year festival, that's mind blowing. You know what I mean? So hats off to them. I know how much work it takes. Like it's a huge risk taking that on yourself. As a promoter myself, you take a huge risk by enlisting a band. You got to not only pay this band, but you got to take care of facilitating it. Before we had the bar, we didn't even have a dedicated venue. Like I said, we're going anywhere. You know what I mean? So there's a risk in like taking on all these expenses in order to make this venture, stay afloat. So I don't know. I just don't really think people, maybe appreciate all the hard work that go into it, or maybe they're just not aware of it. But there is a lot of work that goes into putting on such an event, and like all the people that are involved. And I don't know.
And I think even the idea of looking at something, and I'm glad you mentioned the Timmins Festivals and Events Committee, because I think their event was extremely successful.
Yeah, good for them.
And what they've done is looks like it's really great. However, I did have a conversation with one of the organizers once and kind of talked to him about maybe the differences, because I don't necessarily think it's just a larger scale of what you're doing. Because from what you explained to me, it sounds like what you're doing is you're working within an industry, and you have your market and how and what fits into that market, right? Whereas if you're essentially fundraising money so you can bring a band in or run a festival once a year, that might be facilitated in a different way, right? You're not necessarily fostering an industry where people can work within that industry, whether it be in production or in entertainment, right? Like you're going to have that once a year festival, which might put your community on the map. but is not necessarily going to make your community part and parcel of that larger industry, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a collective, right? Everybody's offering their own piece of the puzzle. Everybody's offering like their own piece of the puzzle. They offer that, Rock on the River Festival. We offer, the shows taking place at the Working Class Heart of Gold Fest. There's a kayak challenge. There's, a ton of other events going on throughout the city.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know. It's everybody's bringing a piece of the puzzle to the, arts and music culture of the city. And like next thing you know, boom, we're on that next level, right? And it's just like these are all like subjects and like pieces that integrate well together and work well together.
Yeah.
So John, I have a question. You're saying that it's like an industry, or it is an industry.
Absolutely.
And you're right, absolutely it's an industry. But so what were the barriers that it's only now being kind of more developed and actually becoming a thing? What in your mind didn't allow a community like Timmins or other communities in the north to be able to develop that type of industry or even have that industry?
Really, maybe somebody has kickstart things, right? You know what I mean? Somebody starts a fire and it catches, right? Mm-hmm. And maybe there wasn't somebody at the time that was, out there kind of bringing things to the forefront. I like to think that we're some of the people who've consistently been doing it. Like we're 10 years in deep to this, and like we're not going anywhere, and we're just consistently bringing a live level of entertainment. Maybe people are paying more attention. To me, like this has always been extremely relevant, live music in the community for a very long time. So it's kind of like, other people kind of questioning it and stuff now are bringing it like, to the forefront of discussions. It's like, well, where you been? You're a little late to the dinner party, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But the more people that are like kind of getting on board, paying attention to it, it's just like that's great. But I don't know why is it happening now? Maybe because there's just more there's more players on the field, and it's just getting a little bit more attention, and the game's getting a little bit more exciting. So
yeah, and we've talked about this on the podcast before, is how anybody with a computer or a phone now can have an opinion and have that opinion shared with anyone, right?
I've been setting a thing for a while, and I think that's outrageous.
And that's outrageous.
It's
always got an opinion.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's all right.
It has its ups and downs, right? It could just spread, very informative educational opinions, or it could just spread like daggers, right?
Yeah.
Like that are just like not.
People like to complain.
Yeah, people find anything to complain about, but it could be also used to spread false knowledge and I don't know,
misinformation. And this idea that so and so said that it costs this much money to bring this band to town, or blah blah blah, and these people were able to bring this band, so why
can't we bring these guys?
So and so, yeah, it really doesn't.
There's so many factors to determine why a band doesn't come here. I think anybody who has an understanding of like how touring artists work and like how purchasing talent takes place, like they're not going to be chiming in online about this stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, for one, just like any other place of business, like it's one unprofessional to just get on like some forum or message board and start like talking about specifics about how much a band costs or why they're not coming here. It's just like, no, like the people that are in the know and that really hold any weight, they're not out there doing silly kind of things like that. Exactly.
They don't have time to engage in that kind of debate.
No, it's just like you're getting trolled if you're kind of lured into like that kind of discussion. It all boils down to people who want to do it, and like it's like a demand for it too. Right now, we've been starved for entertainment in the community for a very long time, and now people have had enough, and people want it. And it's cool. So like as long as people keep asking for it and showing up, and which is obviously key, right? Like you need people at these events in order for them to be successful. Not only from just like ticket sales perspectives, but concessions, vendors on hand and stuff, like for it to be like a truly profitable venture for everybody in the community, right?
Do you think that pre-sales are a big deal?
Well,
like as big of a deal as they're made out to be?
Well, 100%. Like I tell you, I sleep a lot easier the night before a show, knowing that I got some pretty good ticket sales,
Gotcha.
or even the week before. But to be honest with you, there's been some shows that should have been canceled based on pre-sales, but we decided to tough it out till the end, and then thank God we didn't cancel it because 95% of our ticket sales come at the door.
Yeah.
I just find a lot of people like maybe fly by the seat of their pants when it comes time, or like think, oh yeah, there'll be tickets later. But I'll tell you, it's kind of, the culture's kind of breeding right now that like, especially at a small capacity venue like the Working Class, they get your tickets quick because
especially those big shows.
Absolutely. And then people get bummed out. They can't get to it. And it's like, oh man, like, we went from not being able to fill up every show to like telling like some of our close friends, oh man, we're at capacity. I'm
Sorry, man.
Can't do much about it.
Yeah.
So it's like you're the most liked and then the most hated all in one night.
And I'm sure you're getting text messages from people like me.
Yeah.
On the day of, hey man.
Yeah,
I just put my daughter to bed. Can you let me in?
Yeah, absolutely. But you're like you're an OG vet. You know what I mean? So it's just like you paid your dues and like, you know, you played the sold out shows to the shows where there's been 5 people. So you got that pass to get in.
There we go. That's good to know. We don't need to necessarily put that in the podcast. We'll
just any young kid who comes to a show or anybody comes to a show. Yeah, I'm Corey McGee. So
come right in, sir.
Oh, the OG vet.
Yeah. No, but that said, you know what? That's we kind of focused a lot about the negativity that comes along with putting on this kind of stuff. But all in all, you know, despite all that negativity, you guys were able to put on some really good stuff over the past year.
Pretty good events, yeah.
Yeah, you guys had been involved with obviously you guys had spearheaded the Heart of Gold Fest and had been involved with the Bacon Fest as well. You know, you want to talk a little bit how those things came together, how you even got the idea to say, you know what, listen, we're going to start a festival, and where do you see these things kind of going from here?
You know, like I'm glad you said, like, you know, turn it to a positive light, because the reason we do this is positive. You know, we just feed off each other. Like, you know, every show I do, I'm like, I got to do something better than that. I got to get a bigger band. I got to get like you know, I got to plan something just bigger. You know, I'm always kind of that, like, personality wise, that's kind of how I think. As far as Heart of Gold Fest went, it was just kind of like I always wanted to do a festival. I always talk to my friend Brandon Thayer all the time about it. Like, I'd be like, yo man, I'm going to do a festival. He's like, yo, you should. And then we kind of brainstorm back and forth. And then I was like, whoa, how am I going to go about this? And I shit you not that the Heart of Gold Fest was a total accident. Like, I had a series of people contact me for shows, all very cool bands, and I booked them 3 days in a row. So there would have been 3 shows in a row, and I was like, oh man, this is going to be a tough pitch. Like, these are good bands that warrant, you know, a good crowd at every show. I'm like, there's got to be a way I can make all this happen without a hitch. So I started thinking, I'm like, well, this could be the foundation of my festival. So we just basically kind of looked at all our resources, who we could get in contact with, and then we just pulled the rabbit out of the hat, so to say. And a lot of people came together to make it possible. We got a good partnership going with Radical Gardens, and they helped us out as being one of our keynote sponsors. Pabst Blue Ribbon, who's just like a huge contributor to like the music and art scene, like, you know, in North America in general. You know what I mean? Like they were, you know, took an interest in our community. And of course, like bands like Silverstein, who are like internationally active, have sold 1 million+ records. Who are still incredibly relevant for like their post-hardcore music, and are still putting out like world-class albums.
Yeah, so anybody who says no relevant artists are coming to town, full of shit.
Well, yeah. I you know, I hate to
what
be
are you
like,
listening to? Yeah.
like, you, dude, you're not cool. like some people are like, yo, I never heard of Silverstein. It's just like,
well, then,
dude, you need to get out a little bit more. Like, not to knock like top 40 music, because I love top 40 music. I was raised on it, you know. But there's sounds outside the FM and the AM airwaves,
especially today, and there's no excuse to not be exposed to that.
Absolutely. Like when Silverstein decided, we wanted to, and I think that speaks volumes of that band themselves, to take a chance on a first-year festival and come out here and put on a hell of a show. Like that was killer. You know, not only we had Silverstein, but we had Bigwig, you know, who were like an institution in skate punk, you know, and
dream
like
come true for us.
Yeah, for all of us, like that was my bread and butter growing up, you know, like listening to, that was my first real taste of punk rock, and like I'm still like heavily affected by it. So to have like bands like Silverstein, Bigwig, and then we had bands like Moon King, and we had Lost Love, we were Sharks, the Penske File, we had LaForge.
Oh,
we had LaForge,
Wow.
right?
Who are those guys?
Bums?
Who are those guys?
Some pretty good looking guys.
Well, I mean,
but we had Head Down.
When
they had hair.
Yeah, when they had hair.
And we even had like, even our warm up show, we had like Comeback Kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so these are all like big bands. I don't care if you put this festival put that festival like in Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, wherever, you know, that's turning heads. Like, it's well attended, and you know, and it's like the first type of festival of its nature in Timmins, you know, it's like an urban festival. It's like clubs, you know, it's kind of like Pousa Fest in Montreal. It's like North by Northeast, South by Southwest, you know, stuff of that nature. A few clubs in the city playing bands. Like, and to be honest with you, all the clubs, all the shows were full from Thursday night onward. Like, I've been going to shows in Timmins since I've been, you know, since I grew my first pubic hair. And
long time ago.
That's a long time
Last
ago.
week?
A couple years
Last
ago?
week.
Oh.
A couple of years ago. You know, that could be up to debate how long that is. But that comeback hit show for the Heart of Gold Fest was the best show I've ever seen.
That was
like,
amazing.
Like it was sending shivers down my spine, just like the music video could have been filmed there with the energy in that room. And it was surreal. And I've been like, you know, I've toured the country, I've toured internationally, and I've, you know,
And it was a Tuesday.
It was a Tuesday.
A Tuesday in Timmins.
So it's like,
and the whole town came out. We were both there.
you could tell they were having fun, man. Like everybody in that room was having fun. You know what I mean? And that made me super proud. And like anytime, like I would hear somebody say like, "There's no music scene in Timmins. There's nothing happening." Like
Show them that.
Show them that.
Yeah.
They would be floored. They would think they're in Toronto or you know, in a bigger market, but not Timmins. You know?
No, absolutely.
But we have that type of stuff here, and like that's something that's what gets me excited. You know what I mean? Like you know, despite all the, you know, kind of stressful and maybe negative things about like promoting a show, when you see something like that, that's the reason you're doing it.
It does it for you, right?
It does it for you.
Yeah.
That's
makes
all
the
I
bad
need.
go away.
Yeah. So with events like had Bacon Fest and the Heart of Gold and all stuff, what I always wonder is how hard was it to get it going? I know you said it kind of happened by accident, but were there barriers that you saw that slow things down you wish could have been fixed? And were there stuff that you thought was going to be an issue and you're like, no, this actually wasn't that bad, it was pretty easy? And people who like to bitch about, you know, insurance or whatever, they were wrong. This was a lot easier than it was.
Well, to be honest with you, there's I kind of went into both those projects thinking the same thing, right? Like, oh man, what type of red tape am I going to have to jump through to make this happen? All I hear is that there's nobody cooperative want to do things. You know, insurance, nobody's down for, you know, insurance and stuff like that. It does become rather costly. But the fact of the matter is, like, all these kind of, all this criteria and all, like, this paperwork and stuff, they're there for a reason. They're there to ensure that, you know, the public is safe at these events. But, if you're just paying attention and, you're reading what you're doing, you're crossing the T's, dotting the I's. No, I was actually overwhelmed with the amount of support. That the city and city officials present, like, you know, offered and granted us while we were doing this, like,
because there's a perception that there's a ton of red tape to put on anything.
Well, there is red tape to put on anything, but with just cause. You know what I mean? Like,
like it was manageable to do.
Yeah, it was 100% manageable.
And
like,
you didn't get the feeling that anybody was unsupportive. of what you were trying to do.
Not at all. Like in the past, before we owned a business and before we were doing stuff of this nature. Yeah, I might have been whistling a different tune, but like in hindsight, like I have an understanding of why. They might have been like that. You know what I mean? Like there's like these are well attended events, and you got to ensure the safety of the citizens. And that sounds so punk rock saying this, right? But but it's just like there's a reason all this stuff's in place.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Of
And
course.
just like, but no, I did not find it difficult. Like when we were doing bacon, like it's challenging. It takes a lot of time and like clerical work and just like attention to detail, but it's all manageable. Like people in the city right now want to see stuff happening. So, hats off to them because
That's
like we had like Noella Ronaldo at the downtown BIA when we were working on Bacon Fest, who was like incredibly helpful, very resourceful. Anytime we had any questions, concerns, like she was right there for us. And even as a business owner in downtown Timmins, if there's anything that like I have a question about, they're accessible, they're there to help. You know what I mean? So I don't know. So people that, like we said earlier, people are going to complain, but I don't know. The people that we've been dealing with have been yes sirs, so to say, and they've helped us out along the way, and we're happy to have them in our corner if we do need something.
Good. And that's that really kind
surprising. Welcome surprise.
No, it is a welcome surprise because I don't think anybody who isn't involved with the local business, whether that be putting on events or doing anything, like opening up your own shop of some kind, if you feel like you've got all sorts of red tape to go through and you feel like the people you're answering to are actively working against you and don't want your business to open, they don't want your event to go down, they don't want it to be well attended or be a success, then it starts to get pretty disheartening and it starts to get a little bit difficult for you to get your or it's discouraging to other people as well.
Well,
right?
100%. If there's people of influence like that aren't supportive of what you're doing, it's hurtful to the cause. You know what I mean? But I can't say that we had any trouble with the municipality or anything. They wanted to see it succeed in that school, and I think that just speaks volumes of like the potential that the community has as far as like live music and stuff like that. But one thing I can say is that we do need a proper facility in Timmins, like for live music. Whether, the working class is cool, but we have a limited capacity to operate. Absolutely. It's just that we're the only dedicated live music venue in the city of Timmins. Everywhere else, they have to bring stuff in, Frankenstein it to provide a live music venue. We're very proud of being the one music venue in Timmins. As cliche and cheesy as it sounds, build it and they will come. If you have an amphitheater, a hall, a proper concert hall, that's going to attract, that's going to attract the acts. They've got a proper place to play. They're not Mickey Mouse operating something here. I wish you're going to catch a lot more bees with honey than vinegar. Is that how like that analogy goes?
That makes sense.
So if you have like a sweet little facility set up for these bands, like they're going to come and
it's so much easier to kind of facilitate this stuff going down, like a place like Sudbury with Bell Park.
Absolutely. It's just
like
look at like a buyer of an NHL franchise, right? Or a city, if they want an NHL franchise, they're going to build that multi-million-dollar complex to attract a team to that market. So it's just, why is it any different when it comes to bands, right? It sounds super cheesy, like I said, but build it and they will come.
So that said, how have you felt about this recent debate with the fact that City Council has been, they voted 7-1
for the aquatic center?
For the aquatic center and like eventually,
multi-use center,
multi-use center, something that's been. Do you like? I guess that's not something that's dedicated to like a completely dedicated live event venue, but something that could be utilized to throw larger events.
That's totally cool. Obviously it has a multi-purpose complex, and like apart from music, there's like just like anything like any type of complex of that nature is a incredible resource to the community, and a lot of people benefit. So I have no quarrels with that. But let's be honest, we need a proper music venue. Apart from like athletics and stuff like that, like arts and culture need a forum, right? You build something of that nature, and it just fosters a whole new culture. You know what I mean? Like there could be the next huge artist stemming up from this small community, right? And not to toot our own horn or anything, but since like the inception of the working class, there's been so many new bands that have been surfacing and stuff of that nature that is like super rewarding to see, because this is like the breeding ground, how like the next big thing generates. It might take like 10 years for a band to really sprout up from here, but it's got to start somewhere, right? Like you give them that nesting ground, never know what's possible.
There's been some serious talent just come out of one Timmins, but Northern Ontario and even nearby Quebec. Some of the bands that have come through working class have just been amazing, and setting aside the whole debate from no live music in Timmins and no live events in Timmins, this idea that we could potentially be a breeding ground for these bands and for the artists in general and arts and culture in general. You're right. If we were willing as a community to make those kinds of investments and not just see ourselves as that,
So I'm going to take my monocle off here and be the business guy here. Okay,
it's going to be the monocle.
I 100% agree. I think we do it, but how do you do it sustainably? Because it is difficult to come in with an idea like that, or do something, or build an amphitheater, build a dedicated concert hall that just bleeds money, because then it's easy. That's easy for people to jump on. It's easy to get essentially a right wing type of individual, fiscal conservative, to say, no, this is a bad idea, let's get rid of it, let's cut it. Whereas you have something that can be somewhat sustainable, because like the working class, obviously what you're doing is something that has a business sense to it, has a business argument to be had. And if you build something that does not have the business argument, how do you have? Because we can build a room for quilters. Hey, that's an art scene. There's people doing it. All 4 people in town who want to do it can go there and do it. But is it worth that?
Even if there were 100 people doing it, is there enough people buying quilts, or is there enough revenue coming through there to support this kind of place? Right.
All legitimate things to kind of keep in mind, and that's something that we have to keep in mind daily when running with the working class, right? Is this sustainable? Does it make sense? We truly feel that it is, right? The fact is that you need to get somebody who is informed and knows that industry. Like I said, you're not going to call a plumber to fix your car. You're going to get a mechanic to do that if you want the job done properly. So why are you just putting on a chef's hat to anybody in the kitchen and expecting top tier results? It's not happening. So what you need to do is if you're serious about a venture, you need to do it properly. You need to seek consultation from people who have experience and knowledge in that field in order to ensure success. So I think it's extremely viable if you do it properly. You keep it within, you're not trying to shoot down the moon with a slingshot, so to say. Yeah. And if you have somebody who...
This analogy is kind of one after the other.
No, but it's just so simple. It's just such a simple concept that, get the amphitheater or just like have a contingency plan. And then if you have a facility like that's available to the public, it's not just myself that's going to go utilize it. That's going to attract different people. Yeah. People from another market could step in and a touring production company or whatever. But the fact of the matter, if it's not there and if it is a city complex, you know what I mean? Then it's already going to be multi-purpose. They'll find a way to use it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
To make as much money as possible.
Conference center, if anything, whatever. Right? Like
absolutely. Like live music is not just going to be the end all and be all about it, but typically, the aquatic center, that's cool, that's great. That's going to be a huge benefit to the community on numerous levels. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. As far as music goes, you need a dedicated venue. Yeah. That's straight up. I think it's very sustainable. You just need to get the right players in place to ensure its success.
And I think traditionally, like, no one's really looked at Timmins as this hotspot or hub of cultural activity where everything's kind of always been underground. It's never really been in the forefront. We've always been a mining community, right?
Well, just say it's like, I just think Timmins catches a raw deal so many times. Like, you're watching even the CBC dogs Timmins. I'm going to go on record saying the dog in Timmins. Like, you hear their weather reports on the national and just stuff like that. Like the Touch Sudbury and stuff like that. Yo, do you forget there's like 50,000 people that are here and so many mines that just feed the freaking province? You know what I mean? Like, don't act like Timmins is not here. We all know that Timmins is here. And like
to be fair, a lot of people don't know Timmins is
here.
No,
but it's just like, just open a book or something. Yeah. Like, look at a map. Like, are maps like cut off at a certain point? Like, once you reach Northern Ontario, but it's just like, I just don't think it's like specifically to our, the music scene or like bands. Right? Like, just like everybody forgets about Northern Ontario, and it's sad because it's just such a vital part of our country and everything.
Of course. People forget that there's so much more north of. Well, we were talking about this last week, saying that there's really not a whole lot of people down south that would acknowledge anything past North Bay. Right? North Bay is pretty remote.
I'm pretty sure that remote. Well, isn't anything south of like Barrie, USA? That's Michigan, right? Or northern...
A land of the free?
The land of the free, yes.
Upper New York?
Yeah. No, upstate New York.
Well, and to be fair, what we're talking about, like, Southerners generalizing the North. I generalize the South all the time. Kitchener, that's Toronto.
What's the difference?
London, Toronto.
What's the difference?
It's all Toronto. Brampton, Toronto. Everything's Toronto to me, I don't really see too much of a difference.
I guess, being a smaller community, you got to expect that, but, like... I don't know. It just kills me when the CBC dogs.
Especially the CBC. We're paying for that shit.
Well, it's not even that we're paying about that stuff. You want to be real Canadian? Canadian. If you want to be real Canadian, like, and you're not even reaching up here, like, this is Canadian as it gets.
Yeah, like, good point.
I don't know. It's just, I feel like we get dogged, man. Like, we just get dogged on like the national. We get dogged on like. Just like even when like CBC Sudbury's covering stuff and we're not even getting a nod. Like Temiskaming Shore is getting some hits. Much love to Temiskaming Shore's beautiful spot and stuff like that. But come on, man, we're in Timmins right now. We got some stuff going on.
And that's true. And I think the more that stuff comes to light, the more that it'll be. We will see that exposure. At least I'm hopeful. Maybe I'm naive. Maybe
I'm hopeful. That's why I stuck around. Like, that's why I want to do cool stuff here. That's why I want to like put my focus in.
show on the road, right?
Absolutely. And it's just people always ask, like, yo, why are you still rolling in Timmins and stuff like that? And it's just like, well, it's fun. It's like, but there's good people here. There's a need for it here because like nobody else is doing it, and like we're doing super well with it. It's fun. Man, we love Timmins. Timmins is fun. It's home.
It is fun.
You know, it's crazy as it is sometimes.
It's pretty crazy.
It is crazy.
But it's a lot of fun.
Well, I think it's time for another beer.
Yes, I think actually, it's a great time for another beer.
We didn't get to describe the beer yet, so I guess I'll get into the description beer while Corey cracks a couple more open.
Timmins After Dark.
Uh-oh. It's getting a little blue.
Ooh.
We're gonna start talking about like transhumanism, like we did before the podcast started.
Yes.
So
the fun stuff.
Today, what we're drinking today is Collective Arts Brewing, and it's their Rhyme and Reason Extra Pale Ale. Brewed in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. It's an American pale ale, which I guess is a little bit different than the regular pale ales. Generally, they're a little bit higher in alcohol content. I'm sure John Belanger is going to be just ripping apart my description. So I'll give you the commercial description. Rhyme and Reason Extra Pale Ale, American Style Pale Ale. The flavor of aroma, Citra, Centennial, Chinook, and Simcoe hops prevail without excessive bitterness and for maximum drinkability. This beer is rated on ratebeer.com at 97, style 99. I did find the rate
97 out of 99?
97 and style was 99.
Oh, shit.
But I do find a rate
the dismount.
Yeah. Ratebeer.com was a little bit higher in the rating than Untapped and some of the other ones, but they essentially were all in the either high 70s or in the 80s. So I guess it's actually supposed to be a very good beer. It's 5.7%, like I said. Pretty good. I actually don't mind it. It's if you like a hoppy beer, or if you don't like a hoppy beer, this might be a good attempt to introduce you into more of the hoppy beers because it's not too hoppy and it's decent. Yeah.
Like a little transition beer.
Yeah.
Like I could see myself catching a fizz off a couple of these.
Yeah, it's good. It's good beer. It's not. I think it's the same, and I don't want to or compare it too much to my favorite beer right now, which is the Muskoka Detour. But it's got a little bit of those same properties. You can drink enough of them without getting totally plastered.
Or too full.
Yeah, exactly. It's not too hoppy. It doesn't like sit
bloaty.
And it's not too bitter in the mouth. You know, it's a good beer. I enjoy it thoroughly.
Yeah,
approved.
We
will tag that in the
What would you give top 10?
Top 10
out of 10. Sorry, 1 out of 10. What would you give?
1 out of 10. Just to leave room for improvement, I'm going to give 7.5. No, that's unfair. I'm just being stupid.
You jerk.
8.
8? John, yourself?
I'm typically don't find a beer like a pale ale like too easy to drink. Mm-hmm. I find it fills you up pretty quick. But this is a nice like smooth beer that you could obviously have a few, walk home with a lean, and feel pretty good about yourself after. So
your rating is?
I'm going to go with an 8.
An 8?
Leave room for improvement.
Yeah. I don't mind it. I just don't like giving up high scores. I'm going to go. I'm going to give it a 7, but that in my book that'd be a good.
What are you, a French judge?
Well, I'm just going to be like, yo, I'm going to like.
Judge, you're always giving bad scores.
No, I'm going to give him like a 9 just because they get all hyped on it, and then just like, energy just breeds. So they'll be like, yo, dude, give us a 9. Okay, we're just going to make the best batch next time. So it's just like.
I think it's kind of cool too. You do see all the art on all these different bottles. It's kind of neat. And Corey, you were looking at something about that.
Yeah, it's true. Apparently, well, I was able to watch the short video on their website that talked a little bit about what their mission was, and it's really good that this is the beer that we're drinking tonight. Especially all the talk that we've had about arts and culture and communities. All the labels are designed by different artists. I guess they've utilized their labels to feature different artists, and also if you go and download the Blipper app in the App Store, and that's Blipper BLIPPAR, and you scan the label, you have access to different short films or music as well, music downloads. So it's actually a really cool concept that they've been able to infuse arts and culture and film and music and that kind of stuff with their brewing process. So hats off to them at Collective Arts, and their Rhyme and Reason Extra Pale Ale is pretty amazing.
Yeah. It looks like the artists are from all over the map too, like Toronto, Detroit.
Got Detroit and got
Milan,
West Hartford.
Italy.
Ooh, that's heard as well.
Getting international. Anyways, no,
Well, technically, the states would be international as well. This is their Hamilton company.
Yeah, good point.
Your head out your ass.
USA. USA.
Oh, yeah. So, no, this is the stuff we're drinking tonight. So, we're going to post a link up to that, what is it, their website, and we're going to tag their social media on our
We'll link them somehow,
Yeah.
like their Facebook page
Somebody
somehow.
will get to check
Some
it out.
bullshit.
Hopefully they send us some
Yeah.
free
Some
t-shirts
beer-
or
beer and
free-
bullshit.
Yeah.
Beer and Bullshit t-shirts.
So
we're working on merch.
Hey, we were we are working on merch, so we'll try to get that set up sooner or later. So we've been kind of talking about the beer and the bar stuff lately. So let's get into the bullshit here. I want to talk a bit about the bullshit. John, feel free to jump in whenever you want.
Yeah, I talk shit all the time.
He
There you
talks
go.
a lot of bullshit.
So
known
one
him for a
thing
while.
I saw today and made me kind of like giggle and maybe kind of wonder was well, first of all, Trump meeting the president of Mexico to talk about
and he sucked his dick.
oh, essentially,
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, it's,
Didn't
just,
say anything.
it's just like some people, like I read that, and it's like some people. This is like enraging some people. Like it's like he's going to Mexico. How dare he?
Oh, but it was
You know?
even worse. The Mexican president actually like sat there and said, well, when he gave his speech afterwards, after their meeting, said something like there were a lot of misunderstandings about Trump, and they had he felt very hopeful that he would be able to work with.
Oh, that's all bullshit.
He just
That's all
figured
bullshit.
like
They
in
have
that
to
meeting
say
he's
that.
going to be able to woo him. It's like after this meeting he's not building the wall.
He's not. No. He even actually acknowledged the wall.
Yeah.
He said it's a country's right to set up a physical barrier.
It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit.
And this
He's
was
just
and this
saying-
was the Mexican prime minister
Yeah.
that said that. Yeah, or
he has
president?
to say that he might have to work along the side this guy somehow.
guess so.
Well, I guess on the other side of the wall.
That's haunting.
on the other side of the
I guess
wall.
in the other room. So he does not work. But if you look at it too, Trump actually never said who's going to pay for it. That was a big thing. He just said we will build a wall, and someone asked him who's going to pay for it. He's like, we'll figure that out later.
not like
Because obviously it's bullshit. Because I'm sure the Mexican president is like,
But-
fuck
but if
off,
you
I'm not
notice,
paying
like-
for anything.
yeah, but you know, once the wallets have to open, it's a different conversation if that's even being still brought to the table. Because I feel like that's a topic like he brought up or very, very early when he was like a candidate, right? Like it's not like something that's really gaining steam right now. Is like, yo, he's building a wall. No, he mentioned he was building a wall. I don't know how
That was
like,
back when he didn't want to win.
yeah, now he's
Yeah.
could potentially win, so he can't build that wall. But
But one thing
This
I
is a
wonder.
fucking sideshow. This whole thing is
nuts.
just insane.
it's like, do you watch this car crash and call for help, or do you just like let it ride?
But what about this wall? Okay, I think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world, but the Hoover Dam. That was a make work project. That
Yeah,
was
okay.
That was a dig a hole, fill a hole project. Could this wall become a make work project? Could this be the next Hoover Dam, the Trump wall?
Well,
Could
he-
that?
he just-
FDR? Was it FDR that built the Hoover Dam?
I'm assuming or Hoover.
Okay,
No, it's like,
we do have the
Figure out.
internet.
but
But
it's,
no, FDR was World War II. This was during the Great Depression. No.
that he
I
built
could
a
be
home
wrong.
like just to create employment. So it's
It-
just like
it-
employment's down right now. Let's give them something to
Essentially,
do.
you know, had the federal economic action plan. You know, where the federal government threw money everywhere to build different things across the country. That was one of them.
Stimulus. It's the original stimulus program.
And it was built by who there, Mr.
Wait,
Reggie?
no.
Checking out
We're
the
figuring it
factual
out.
Wikipedia
This-
to make sure that we're correct.
Okay, wait.
I'm about
the
Wiki.
dam was controversially named after President Herbert Hoover.
Damn it.
It was constructed between 1931 and 1936 during the Great Depression and was dedicated on September 30th, 1935 by President FDR.
Yeah, but he was
Fucking
just
right.
So who was the president
Again.
during the construction and during the approval
I
of
don't
it?
know. I don't know.
That's
But
what I want to know,
anyways-
Mr. McGee.
anyways, we
'Cause
don't need
if
to
he
know
was,
that.
If he was if FDR was president in, so was he president until the 40s?
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. He was
So there's
President
no
World War
way
II.
he was president before the 30s. He only had 2 terms. So, and actually, he didn't even finish for all 2 terms. There's no bloody way that he was president when he put it into practice.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Anyways,
you know what, Corey? It takes a big man. It takes a big man to admit he's wrong, and I'm happy that you're ready to admit you're wrong. You're a big man. Good job.
Yeah, John knows I don't ever admit I'm wrong.
He doesn't. He just can't budge.
I'm an extremely stubborn guy.
But it's cool. We're going from FDR to Trump.
Yeah. No, you can't compare.
You can't,
projects.
definitely
Like,
not.
he's not. This is not the same thing. But
like I wonder, like the core of the wall, like it's gonna be like what's this wall gonna look like?
I don't know, but that would be a massive wall.
Definitely.
Like I think I read a Vice News article. Vice News, if you follow them on Facebook or
like
wherever.
Vice News is cool until they tell you like I jerked off for a week and this is what happened to my dick. They have stupid articles like that. It's just like Vice News went from like, yo, these are some of the most legit stories around to like
clickbait.
Oh, I said yes to everything for the next week and I almost ended up dead.
What happened?
What happened to me? Like they're letting anybody write from now. I'm leaving here and I'm going to write a piece for Vice.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know, but
It's pretty entertaining. But they've been skewering Donald Trump recently. Like that's everything they get.
I think everybody but Fox News might skew him. You know, or,
Even some of them.
yeah.
O'Reilly actually did a decent job. I'm not an O'Reilly fan usually, but he had his interview with Trump, and he actually brought him to task on some stuff, which I was actually pretty surprised about for being the Fox News guy. Literally, maybe one of the
He's Papa Bear, right?
Yeah, Papa Bear, mainstay of freaking Fox News. I almost said fuck news, but just about.
Fox News.
No, but one thing I thought was interesting with Trump. So he's been trying to court the black vote. He went to Lansing, Michigan.
He's having a hell of an approach.
And, he's saying we got to help them. Blah blah blah. I'm not trying to downplay what saying blah blah blah, but yeah, he went on. We got to help the black community. What do you have to lose?
Yeah, that was my favorite one.
While he's saying this to white people, he wasn't saying to black people.
And he referred to. Please tell me he didn't refer to them as them.
Oh, I'm sure he has. Oh yeah, those
too
people.
bad.
He said those people plenty of times.
No, me it was African American voters. What do you have to lose?
Yeah.
Vote for me. What do you have to lose? Things are terrible now.
What a slogan!
Everyone's
Is that a shirt?
killing you.
Vote for Trump. What do you have to?
The
You see
cops
that
are killing you.
in all these urban markets. Well, you go from President Obama, who's clearly pro-black,
Well, I would
to
assume.
Trump. What do you have to lose?
Yeah,
Trump. What do you have to lose? 2017.
but so
We're going
he
to call
goes
for a constitutional convention so that they can amend the Constitution and allow a third term for president and vote for
There you
Barack
go.
Obama.
There you go.
Simple as that.
But so they went from, or he's going from this trying to court the black vote to Kaepernick sitting during the national anthem,
yeah.
not getting up for an exhibition game. First of all,
You hear about this?
I'm surprised somebody watching an exhibition NFL game because who sees preseason games? But so he sits there, doesn't stand up during an national anthem. Trump goes on record saying, "If you don't like this country, get out." While this guy's trying to do a protest for essentially, Black Lives Matter,
Yeah,
but
Black Lives
essentially
Matter.
black, civil rights and all that. He's doing a protest, a personal protest to that, and Trump then goes around and turns around and says, "Get out of this country if you don't like it."
Yeah, I don't know.
So what is it? Support black movement, support whatever, or shit on him completely? Like that's not helping your cause.
I just find like at this point in time, like obviously he's pretty passionate about something. If he's taking that much of a stand, and good
whites.
for him. No, I'm speaking like Colin Kaepernick.
Kaepernick, okay.
You know what I mean? But it's
Sorry.
just like the
Be
league,
passionate.
like the NFL itself is a joke. It's a league that accepts somebody who is notoriously known for domestic abuse, murder, sexual assault, rape, and stuff. These are people like that's the only league you could be glorified after being persecuted or not persecuted, but it's crazy. Like this is a league that supports all these dudes, and then like Colin Kaepernick sticks up for like a Black Lives Matter movement, and like he's getting the word, like he's getting like there's pigeons flying over him. It's not cool.
I saw a Twitter post which was like which seemed pretty like on point for this. Was there was Black Lives? It was like kind of. Sorry,
good pod.
Bad
Good
pod.
pod. Good pod.
Is white
Every
people?
time,
White people
everyone
about.
does something.
I know. I'm gonna keep doing it. It's because we drink when we do this, right? It was Black Lives Matter movement protests. White people say black people should protest peacefully.
Yeah.
Black guy sits down during national anthem quietly and says nothing. Not like that. Well, not like that.
I don't know. It's a crazy world. Everybody's sensitive. Everybody has It's the internet, man. Everybody can say anything they want right now with zero accountability. It's a shameless world almost.
Oh, it is. Anonymity.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's, you're an internet tough guy. You have the world's loudest voice when you're behind that keyboard. But, when it comes time to actually, speak up truly about it, I don't know, people fall. But I don't know. There's shit like ISIS out there, man, and people are talking about like crazy stuff.
No, it's true.
It's crazy.
Man.
Like it's just true. Like such trivial stuff to deter us from like actual real issues.
Is that still going on?
Oh yeah,
I'm sure it is. Well, it's just it might not be talked about, but I'm sure it's going on.
Absolutely, it's going on.
I didn't know what's happening. Oh, jeez.
No, I'm just trying to show
I was busy with that.
It's just like the news is like all focused on Colin Kaepernick, a football player. When there's some fucking real injustices in the world taking place, it's just like a mask. It's like it's almost infuriating, and it's just like, okay, keep these fools entertained with this.
No,
let the adults
that's a good
play.
Point. But to be fair though, that's just the symptoms of and I'm going to go real lefty on this. Symptoms of a capitalist society, right? It's whatever's going to get the most clicks, whatever's going to get these corporations are just reacting to what we're going to consume.
I'm going to tell you what's going to get some clicks.
Oh shit! Here we go.
It's going to say
this podcast
really
about to blow up. This
podcast about to blow up. I just say no. Go on Facebook and click and like Beer and Bullshit.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's what's going to get some clicks. There's no controversy. Just good subject and good discussion.
Good.
Of course. No. It's there's a lot. I think everybody could sit here and really actually acknowledge that there are way more important issues going on out there in the world than what we worry about or even care about on a day-to-day basis. But I think that speaks more to the fact that people feel so disempowered. They feel like their voice doesn't matter. Yeah, disenchanted, and they really feel like their voice, their what they think, what they can do means nothing. People think that what they do, if they donate to charity, it means nothing because it's really you're just helping the administration of that foundation or whatever. And all this shit has been really shoved down our throats to say that we don't matter. What we say, what we do doesn't matter. And just doing shit like what we're doing right now is probably speaking to the fact that what we do does matter. You can't
absolutely, and like hats off to Colin Kaepernick for doing that, because
for sure.
It's not too often that you see a person of influence of his nature use it in a positive light, right? Like obviously he's standing up for something he's very passionate and truly believes about, and regardless of your stance on it, I think we could all agree that he's standing up for a very relevant and very, very important.
He's one of the minority of people that are actually standing up and saying, you know what, like. He has a platform. Yeah. So he's utilizing that platform to say something.
Absolutely. Like I wasn't a Colin I was not a Colin Kaepernick fan prior to this, but now I have quite a bit more respect for him. And
until he gets the Super Bowl, I'm not a fan. Sorry, no.
Yeah, he did get the Super Bowl, and then he choked. Then he choked a few times after that on the way. But the thing is, legit, I cheered against him, and in previous games and stuff like that. But I think, despite off the football field, he's a champion of humanity.
Yeah. There's the man, there's the player, right? Yeah. No, that's very true, and I think that, or I would hope to see that there's going to be more professional athletes and more celebrities and people with platforms utilizing those platforms to spread those positive messages.
Yeah, less turds like the Kardashians and stuff like that. that are just like
who nailed that right down is The Simpsons. Halloween. I forget which Treehouse of Horrors it was, but
like
the advertisements, if you ignore it, they just die. They go away. If you look away, they just die.
Yeah, well, I think we should adapt that principle, and it's just like that. I think that encompasses everything that's completely wrong with pop culture and everything. It's like that sucks. We give these people limelight, and
it's just so empty, right?
It has no weight. It's no substance. It's just a machine, and it just consumes itself. It's just like a dog chasing his tail. There's no objective to it. It's just so mindless. And I'll probably get shit on for talking. But it's just like this is bullshit, right?
But doesn't it at least show how susceptible we are to bright lights?
Yeah, absolutely. And I
Flashy
think
things.
and I think, oh, look at that, a blue car. But I'm not impressed by much.
I love the Simpsons references.
But I don't know. Like we can't be given attention to that. We're feeding the beast with that.
Yeah, no, it's true. I think, and I have to say, like I took my entire summer off this summer, and I have to admit that I took.
You
the
son
time.
of a...
I know. Everybody hates me for it. I shouldn't brag about that shit.
Dear Lord, we talked about this
Yeah.
If you want to find Corey
they stormed the
McGee
beaches of Normandy.
Do you think his grandfather stormed the beaches of Normandy
for
so
him
he
to
can
take it off all
pat
summer?
leave? Do you think his grandfather took pat leave?
Yeah, I want.
No.
But
He
you have
took a
not.
shot of whiskey
At
had a
19
smoke.
years old, his
Yeah.
grandfather is
Got
storming the beaches
on
of
a
Normandy.
freaking merchant marine boat to get over to the other side of the Atlantic and attack the Nazis.
He's sitting in the state-of-the-art
Yeah.
facility, sipping on Collective Arts beer.
Yeah.
You know?
This hipster dipster beer, and you're going on and
going on about concepts that these people never even dreamed of.
Build a
But
wall.
you forgot. You haven't.
What?
But you haven't let me finish though. What I say is I've taken the time to start what I consider a lifelong self-improvement project. Not to get all Tony Robbins on everybody
dear
here. No, but I'm serious. I'm serious. It's just realizing or trying to put a little bit of effort into realizing what's real, what's not, and putting a little bit more time and effort into things that really, I don't know, I want to say mean something or have some substance, right?
It's like
So
doing
just
a
like
podcast.
this podcast.
This is some heavy shit right now.
No, I mean like
So what,
it's
less-
true.
what's
your
When we get
It's your
into heavy
contribution.
shit, that's what we do when we drink.
less Pornhub every day, just a bit more reading. Or?
Less Pornhub, more reading. Yeah, less Pornhub,
Shit's
more
just got,
Chomsky.
it got real deep.
More
Chomsky, Pornhub.
Pornhub. Anyways, so we've been going for about an hour now. How are you guys feeling?
Not bad.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Does everybody want to have another beer just while we rhyme off some reasons why we should check out our podcast and the Working Class on Instagram and Facebook and
Yes.
everything? Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are still
Yeah,
good?
we looked. Yeah, this beer is
drinking way
pretty
too
good.
fast,
but
everyone.
if we're going to talk about Instagram, the Working Class looks a lot better on Instagram than it does in person.
Perfect.
No, that's just like no.
Filters, yeah.
Filter
that's-
was a hell of an invention.
That sepia filter is definitely the one that suits
Beauty.
us best.
The beauty.
But no, the Instagram, anything could look good, but just come on down to see it yourself, and you can see, it kind of looks like the Instagram post.
Do you guys have a Facebook page?
We do have a
Facebook.
Facebook page. To be honest with you, like we're social media is our best friend between Facebook and Instagram. That's really what we use for promotions. We still do the guerrilla way about it, Harambe style. But we still
Way to plug that.
we do posters at key locations and stuff like that. That's obviously a grassroots thing that we continue to continue the tradition. But Facebook, the Working Class, Facebook.com/the Working Class Bar, Instagram.com/the Working Class Bar.
I guess so.
I
Yeah,
guess
I
that's
think
how
that's
that
what it
works.
is.
But yeah, just type in the Working Class Bar and you'll find it. Timmins, 182nd Avenue. If you want live music of any kind, that's your stomping ground. That's where you want to hang out. Or if you just want to have some beers or play some pool or talk bullshit with me, beer and
Anything,
bullshit.
yeah.
Yo, I invented the original beer and bullshit.
We should
do
have
one
We should
from-
have
A
from
live
there.
one
We'll
from a
talk.
Saturday night with every drunken
Why not?
maniac grabbing
not?
microphones from you guys.
Oh,
No,
God, it'd be brutal.
we would do.
Be awesome, though.
We'll do a live on
Yeah,
location.
absolutely.
It'd be a great time.
What better place to test out a couple beers, right?
Exactly.
It'd be
I've
awesome.
seen Corey drink a few beers there before.
No, never.
Yeah, I've seen both you guys actually.
I'm
Never.
Sorry.
Doesn't happen.
I'm the
Sorry, I
chairman.
don't frequent these.
I'm the chairman of an addiction
Establishments.
services board. I have not had a beer.
That was not me. I was actually looking for a client.
I was researching.
researching.
Do you have any events you want to plug? Anything?
Yeah,
coming up?
we got a lot coming up. Actually, like the fall is a busy time for like touring bands and venues and stuff like that. Summer's festival time. Everybody's
Okay.
playing festivals.
Yep.
Everybody's doing that kind of stuff. But the fall has always been my favorite time to tour when being a musician or tour managing or doing merch or whatever. But this fall we got a lot of stuff coming up, so I'm going to rhyme off like a few of them.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
give her,
just
man.
shameless self-promotion.
And we'll post them on we'll post a link to all the events and everything on our when we share this podcast on Friday.
Cool.
Today.
So we're going to start off with a show like you might not. Yeah, if you're going to post it on Friday, it's going to be great because on Sunday, this coming Sunday, the 4th of September, we have the Hazy Tones, La Forge, and am I missing anybody, Corey?
The Punctual Alcoholics.
Oh yeah, those guys are
That's
cool.
right.
They're new.
Cool dudes.
Yeah, they're the best. They played Big Bacon Fest. They're playing the SNFU show that's coming up as well. So we got the Hazy Tones, La Forge, the Punctual Alcoholics on September 4th, and then we have SNFU.
Which is crazy.
That is going to be pretty cool. It's also on I'm just digging through my phone right now to see, it'd be like, oh man, this guy doesn't even know his own stuff. But I believe it's the 25th, right?
Let me
September 25th,
look it up here. SNFU. Oh, I definitely have my my reply and
the RSVP.
The RSVP is there. Forgot that word for a sec.
I believe it's the 25th, though. I'm going to say September 25th, we have seminal punk legends, SNFU, who are a mainstay in punk rock, and they will be playing actually with the Punctual Alcoholics and also Blizzard Blast. We have Came In 45 on Friday, October 7th at the Working Class with Good Thing and also Calvin Lecourcier. We have the Creep Show on the 26th of September, which is October. I'm in October now.
Yes, October 26th.
October 26th. It's the Creep Show. Who else we have with it?
We got At-Y. We got the At-Y boys.
Dude. Oh, I can't even forget. Those guys are way too good.
Okay.
Those guys are Battles of the Band champions, man.
Battle of the Band champions,
Don't
and
mess with them.
they provide the theme music for this podcast.
There you go.
That, right?
Yeah.
Hope to have them on soon. We're gonna get a live performance in the studio here.
Yeah, don't get those guys in here. Those guys are animals, man.
The real studio.
Like Nathan, you can't have that guy. You can't.
Fuck no, man.
That guy's an animal. He's gonna wreck
house.
if you have that guy in here, he's gonna destroy the place. No, honestly, they are I can't believe I forgot them. They are such a cool band. They work so hard and they bring out all their friends all the time. They are the coolest.
Yeah.
I love those dudes. So it's the Creep Show, All the Wasted Years, and Josh Robin. He's going to kick off the evening with an acoustic act. And then we have a few more to announce. We have one more really big show we're going to announce coming up. Everybody's going to be pretty happy. It's an OG band too. So people are going to be like, oh, okay, cool.
Staying tight-lipped, are you?
Yeah, I can't.
You don't want to give us an exclusive,
well,
do
the thing is, if I do say something and it falls through, they're going to be like, John's a piece of shit. He lied to us. He lied to us on air. And then every time I walk somewhere, people are just going to play back that recording. And I can't have that.
No.
And things fall through. There's so many huge shows. I was like, yeah, I can't believe this is happening, and then it doesn't happen. So I don't want to catch myself with that. But of course, the magnus opus of it all on December 16th, which is a Friday, December 16th. We have Willem Scream, Protest the Hero, Auras, Cyclamen, and who else knows what's happening. That's happening at the Working Class. So get your tickets. Tickets go on sale tomorrow online. So
get them now, folks.
Yeah.
No, you really got to get your asses out
I'm
now. Whatever you're doing, doesn't matter.
Go to the bar.
Just go to the bar. If you're listening to this after December 16th, still go to the bar.
Steal anything you have, sell it, get a ticket. It's just going to be crazy. But there's tons of stuff. And stuff pops up all the time. Things happen so short notice. But I don't know, a lot of cool things happening. And that's only what we're doing. There's other people in the city doing cool things with music and stuff too. So I don't know, just keep an eye out.
Keep your eyes open. Keep your ears peeled.
So
ears to the pavement? Is that something?
Ears to the pavement.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Ears to the pavement?
The kids are saying it.
I guess so.
I think
that's
so.
pretty lit. Does that make sense?
Yo, I'm getting turnt, fam.
Oh fuck, we're getting old.
Do you have anything to plug?
No, I the only thing I would say is anybody who hasn't liked our Beer and Bullshit page, please go and like it, share it, ask your mom to like it, because your mom likes everything on
steal
Facebook.
her phone, take it.
Everything.
Sometimes I have to call my mom and be like, "Your mom, you need to step off."
Oh yeah. Mom, stop texting me all the time. You're doing group texts.
It trips me out when my mom texts me because it's just like,
this is the world we live in now.
I know.
It's where our mothers text us.
Sometimes my mom sends weird emojis, and I'm like, I think she's using it wrong.
Mom, the eggplant emoji is meant for something else. It's not for groceries. Stop sending me the penis emoji. Just stop it.
It's all like the squirting. It's like, Mom.
So, John, you also wanted to do. I know we were talking about this beforehand, but you wanted to do a little bit of an announcement for the Creep Show at Y Show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
We're going to be doing a giveaway actually right here, cool. Exclusive to this podcast. So these guys are doing something phenomenal here with this podcast. It's just really a highlight of just like arts, entertainment, and stuff in the city of Timmins. Oh, so to kind of just roll with these guys, and thanks for having me in. We're going to give away a set of tickets to the Creep Show, All the Waste of Years, Josh Robbins show. So in order to do that, I think all you have to do is share this podcast on Facebook. All you gotta do. So share it. These guys are going to play favorites. Look at who shared it, and then just
who we want.
Yeah, just go.
And then we'll filter and triage through all those people and be like, that guy's cool.
Yeah, he's cool. I could see him at the show.
Yeah,
front row, 2 tickets. But yeah, just share this podcast and just don't tear us up too much.
No.
Not.
So if you haven't done so, go check out The Working Class. Jay, do you want to sign us off?
Well, before I sign off, I just want to say we are setting up. We have set up our YouTube page. We'll have some stuff set up on there soon. So we'll put all the previous podcasts we've had on there onto there, and this current one. So also follow that as well. Next to that, thank you very much. Have a great night, and I still haven't figured out a sign off.
You still haven't figured out a sign off. Oh man,
I was hoping something would come for you right there.
You got to work your stern. Something was going to come, and it really didn't.
Nothing came at all. That's, you know what? It's been a problem in my life. Nothing has ever come.
Nothing has ever come.
Yo, I'll do the sign off on this one.
That works. Go for it.
Stay gold, Timmins.
Cheers.
Stay gold. Nice.